Hi, my name is Steve Riccia from the New Zone Gallery. I'd like to welcome you to the gallery at the end of our Cabinet of Steampunk Curiosity show. One piece we have here is the Wells Time Machine. This is actually my third contraption I built. It was a couple years ago, and the only piece I've ever sold. It was a commission piece. All my other pieces, I like them too much, so I usually don't sell them. So this is some lucky owner, J.D. Olson of the Congress Street Clock Museum, or the Congress Street Museum, owns this particular piece, and we were gracious enough to have him loan us the piece for the show. A couple of unique parts of this contraption is the parts that it was built from. At the Creative Clock Museum, it is a museum which has not only is clock business, but a old-time mechanism museum of all these neat steampunk heaven as far as I'm concerned. And he has all these neat contraptions built from the early 19th century, 20th century, and I was able to use parts from that to build this particular contraption. Had a concept, he decided that he'd go along with whatever parts I wanted to use from his museum, I could build this contraption. It will do several different things. We do have a telephone in front, so we can make calls. Hello, hello. It even has an old dial, old-time dial. We have an 8-day aviation clock. We have a couple of old-style analog meters, voltmeter, milliamp meter. The piece will run off of remote control, so I have a remote right here to turn it on. And so we have a Jacob's ladder working on one side here. We have one of the plasma balls inside. We have another plasma ball here. There is a metronome. You can flip that on. That will come on here pretty soon. That is stationed in front here. There's actually a couple of, there's the metronome going right there, and that can be adjusted right here. And this will stay on for about 15-20 seconds. So it goes off. One thing that is not running right now is the air compressor, which runs the steam engine here, and there's another steam engine inside here. It's a vertical 2-cylinder steam engine. The brain, as I call it, comprises of 3 or 4 different clock mechanisms, some vacuum tubes that are illuminated with LEDs. We have another vacuum tube illuminated with an LED here. There's a neat bar electric clock in front. Gauges, motors, coils, air pressure gauge. We have a nice relay here, a cat whisker wireless receiver here. Oh gosh, air pump. One neat part of this contraption, the oldest part, also is this clock face from a 1700s clock. This particular brass piece right here. It's a wonderful contraption. We got lots of. Do you want it on?
Yeah.
It takes a. No, I'll pump this. It'll start coming on pretty soon.
Some wonderful stuff, huh? Beautiful. I know. You've got such a talented group of artists that are part of this collective.
So J.D. Olson of Creative Clock and I had to come up with some sort of agreement on how this piece was going to be put together. His original idea was to take the vacuum chamber and the plasma ball that's inside with the clock and build something from that. I looked around his museum and came up with a concept, saw him later, and I says, I have this great idea, but I'd like to use this part from your museum, I'd like to use this part from your museum, I'd like to use this part from your museum, and come up with something grander than your original idea. And he thought, oh, what a great idea. Well, how much is this going to cost me, he asked. Well, I'm not going to charge you anything for it. He goes, what do you mean? I says, look, I'll put this together for you, but I want this part, I want this part from you, I want this part, and this part. And he says, sure, deal. Worked out great because I could have gotten money for doing this piece, but getting those parts that you can no longer find was a much better deal for him and I, and just worked out great in the long run, because you can't find any of those items anymore.